Holy cow, guys. We got a log delivery today. That is our good friend loghaulerjesse up there. He is bringing in a load from across the lake. It feels like it's midnight out here, but it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon, and this is how thick and overcast it gets here in this part of the country at this time of the year. And this is a nice sight to see because I've been sweating it out a little bit with my logs. The good news and bad news, that's a nice looking maple log there. The good news is loghaulerjesse's here. The bad news, it's an oak heavy load, and I am not wanting oak right now. I'm wanting maple and ash and cherry, but I'll take what I can get. It's cold, man. This weather's just been weird. I have learned that 35 degrees is about the worst temperature when it comes for firewood. It is still cold, but the ground isn't frozen, you know, so it's wet and you got to wear your muck boots and everything's muddy. And there's some good sized logs on that. So I can go with a bigger log now because, you know, my 405 takes a bigger log. So this is making things easier for Jesse too. He doesn't have to be as picky when he's loading up this truck. And we're going to talk to him after he's done delivering. He's got some things he wants to share with all of us. So the biggest question I get here at Ohio Wood Burner is, you know, Joe, how can I get one of these trucks? Well, I would like to know too. That is my biggest opportunity in running a firewood delivery service. I made a faulty assumption. This has been my biggest mistake when it comes to running a firewood company. I had the wrong belief that firewood grows on trees. And I'm here to tell you guys, it does not. It does not grow on trees. I just thought that I would start selling firewood and I would always have firewood for sale, and that's just not the case. And it is a lonely feeling when you are in business to sell stuff and you have nothing to sell. I'm a full-time firewood guy, and running out of firewood is not an option, you know. I gotta have my firewood. And I just thought these log trucks would just show up, and it just isn't the case. The biggest thing and the biggest piece of advice I can give you if you're looking for a log truck like this is you just got to be the squeaky wheel, guys. You have to, I'm trying to avoid the wind here. You just have to be the squeaky wheel. You have to keep pounding the pavement. You got to work your leads. You got to develop your leads. You got to find loggers and truck drivers. You got to keep them close. And without being a pest, you just got to work your leads and try to get people to bring you logs. That has just been, and it continues to be, whoo, boy, is it cold. It continues to be my biggest opportunity. Now, I am nowhere in dire straits as I used to be, you know, where I used to lose sleep over this because I just couldn't get I couldn't get logs delivered. When, you know, I first got into my Japa 365 because it was so fast, man. And when I used to take a month to work one truckload of wood here, you know, with a chainsaw and a splitter, I could get this done in a week. So I needed more wood. I need more wood, and it just wasn't coming in. That is my advice to you, is you just got to work your leads. You got to see these trucks on the road, get their number off the door. If you see one at the fueling station or sitting at the local diner, I think it helps to have a business card, some way that you can stay in touch with them. And it probably also helps that you have a easy in, easy out location to deliver all these logs. And, you know, I have probably experienced every problem with these trucks coming in that I've tried to fix. You know, we built this road, we built that gravel part of the driveway so the trucks could approach this road. All of these things that we did. And then, you know, I hit a home run in developing this relationship with Log Hauler Jesse. He's a super cool guy, and he's awesome on the controls. But he is an independent, so he doesn't work for a logging operation. So he has a lot of different loggers that he works for. And now that he knows what I'm looking for, you know, when he sees a good load, he loads it up and brings it to me. I don't pay him, I pay the logger pays him. And that's just the way it goes. But, and that, you know, if you are looking for advice, you're probably asking the wrong guy, because I should be asking you guys for advice on how to make ends meet with these logs coming in. The one thing I don't do, I don't take tree service wood. That is just my policy. If you find success with tree service wood, then good for you. But for me, it is not. You know, like that crooked log coming in, that's gonna be a problem on my processor. I went the route of a firewood processor, and they like straight logs. They don't have to be pencils, but boy, it would be great if they were that straight. My new firewood processor, the Japa 405, has a much more forgiving infeed. I'm able to put in bigger logs that have a little bit of crook on them, like these. I can get those to go through the machine, and I can cut these shorter and haul them up with the fork, you know, with my grapple to put them on the live deck. So all these little tricks that I've learned about handling these logs, when you do get a load in, you're able to make firewood out of them. But I don't take tree service wood. It's just not my thing. I like to know what my species are. I don't like diseased and rotten stuff coming in that's full of ants. Usually these logs that come in off the log trucks are green cut, and they are just in good shape. They don't have mud on them, and they're easy to work with. Probably if you're using a chainsaw and a splitter, you know, you could go with a bigger log. But in this case here, I'm going for right around 14-inch and under. My machine will take a 16-inch log, but I just try to, you know, not come up against that maximum diameter, because that makes life a little bit more difficult. So 14 inches is the best. So that was quick. Log Hauler Jesse's done. Let's head on up here and let's talk to him. Log Hauler Jesse.
Yeah.
That was fast work. I'd like to drag out my video with you in the background, but I get to talking and then you're done.
Maybe I should bring some coffee and have a little snack up there.
Yeah. So I'm looking at your shirt. It says, "Why, yes, I am."
Yeah.
Do you care to explain that to me?
Yeah, my brother met me up at the Paul Bunyan show, and a bunch of people would come up and they'd be like, "Hey, are you?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, why, yes, I am." So here's the back.
Look at that. That is, that's your truck. That was taken with my super long selfie stick.
Yeah.
Log Hauler Jesse.
With little fans on it.
So you're like, you're almost a log hauling celebrity here in Northeast Ohio, right?
There's such a thing.
Everyone knows you. Everyone sees you now, right?
Yeah, usually if you're a log hauler and people know you, it's usually for a bad reason. This isn't too bad. I don't mind it.
Are you the guy that tore out my mailbox?
Yeah, took out the ditch, or, you know.
I got a comment one day. A viewer saw you sitting on the side of the road getting inspected by the DOT.
Yeah.
And he sent a picture saying, "Look here, it's Log Hauler Jesse."
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I thought you were following me around.
Yeah. Yeah, so you have been busy, right? You are not just driving logs for other people right now. No. You have been wheeling and dealing. Is that right?
Yeah, I got this pile here that I brought you. I got quite a bit of firewood. And I started a Gmail account. It's loghaulerjesse at Gmail. And
oh, wow.
I have some other guys towards Akron and a couple more that are down towards Salem. So I figure, you know, within the northeastern Ohio area, I might be able to find somebody or have some for myself.
When you were doing the unloading, I was talking to people, because one of the biggest questions I get from people is, how can I get one of these logs trucks delivered? And my reply is, you got me, because I can't seem to have, you know, I can't seem to get any.
Yeah.
So you've purchased a big work site of logs.
Yes.
So you got an abundance of firewood
Yes.
that you can deliver.
That, and there's a couple jobs. There's a job nearby. I know he's got quite a bit to put out. And like I said, I have a friend that he's towards Akron. It's Uniontown, actually. It's south of Akron a little bit. And I know he has some too. And that's, so for me, it'd be Trumbull County area. You know, in this area would be pretty much my delivery area.
Okay.
And
so we're not going to talk prices. That's going to be between you and the customer.
Right. There's different sizes. There's giant stuff, small stuff, crooked stuff.
So there's a lot of variables in a load, guys. So if you are in Northeast Ohio, in the Mahoning Valley, and then possibly some people in the Akron area.
Yeah, like I said, I got to double check with them, but I know that a lot of times they'll have firewood.
So if you are looking for a load of these logs, guys, and I would probably caution you up front, you know, you got to think about a big truck like this pulling onto your land. It's got to have good firm ground and a place, you know, power lines that aren't going to get ripped down.
City driveways that are partially asphalted, I don't like pulling in them because a lot of times, you know, you can
break the
driveway in no time, or concrete. Because when I put my outriggers down, I start leaning, you know, break stuff left and right. So, you know.
So that's what I think what a lot of our viewers are just fascinated with your lifestyle. So, you know, you work for a logger. The logger will call you, I need these logs taken to the mill.
Yeah.
So when you go to a mill, it's already set up to deal with these big heavy trucks coming in.
Yeah. They usually I'll either, like some of the mills, they cut their own material. So I'll just sort out the species, put any of the veneer logs in the front, and say put all the maple in one pile, all the poplar in another, and then they'll come over, grab any of the veneers. If they look like they're butt logs, I'll set them over. They look at them. If they're good, they'll set them aside. If not, they'll push them back on the pile.
Okay.
And that's a majority. That's the easiest thing for me to do, because I can load and unload a load of saw logs in probably 15 minutes.
Right.
If that.
We had learned that earlier when I went on that trip with you about all the extra work it takes to do firewood poles versus saw logs.
Right.
And you're smashing stuff.
Yeah, and I may make it look easy, but I broke a lot of things.
Well, you know, there was a video, guys, where I actually climbed up there and I demonstrated that it is a very fast learning curve, because I think I did a great job unloading that one log.
I can tell in 5 minutes if somebody can make a lifestyle out of this.
As soon as I got to like the third rung on that ladder, I was thinking, this isn't going to work.
No.
So, okay, so if there are people out there interested, serious inquiries, let's send Log Hauler Jesse an email to loghaulerjesse@gmail.com.
Yeah.
But then be reasonable on a reply, because you don't text and drive and reply to emails.
But the email will be easier for me, because then I can go through it and just reply when I can.
Leave your hometown, maybe put in an address, and he can check it out on Google Earth and see if it's going to be something he can get into.
You know, and some people, you know, they might want bigger stuff for boiler. Like a lot of this is going to be, a lot of it's pin oak and oak, and you know, it's got decent size to it. So you know, you'll get good cordage.
There's a lot of oak in this load.
Yeah,
well, that's good, because I love oak firewood.
Yeah, I got the extra stinky oak for you.
Great.
Pin oak.
Yeah. And then we need to figure out a way to market these T-shirts here. You could be a rich guy off T-shirt sales.
I got a couple ideas actually for a T-shirt. I already kind of drew one up, so I may try to get some T-shirts. Cool.
Yeah. So Jesse's been a big personality here at Ohio Woodburner, and he's been very popular. And I know that you guys out there just think the world of him. And we have talked about him getting his own YouTube channel. And then sometimes it seems like a good idea, and then he's like, I would never be able to keep this up. And
no, I'd have to have somebody. I mean, I have videos and stuff, but it's just so much time to consume, and then the replies, and I mean, I'm so busy as it is. If I have more stuff, it's too much.
Yeah. And then you also had a busy few days. You broke your truck.
Yeah,
is that right?
I broke one of the Z springs on the drives.
You broke a spring, but it didn't damage. It didn't rip through tires or airbags or anything.
It was on the low side of the road towards a ditch, and the last time I ran a load, it seemed a little hairy. So once I looked and realized that the spring had snapped, it hadn't come apart yet, but it definitely had a hard lean to the wrong side of the road for sure.
Well, you know, it's not all fun and games in Firewood, because I put new wiper blades on my truck, and that passenger side is hard to reach.
Yeah.
You know, the antenna's in the way, and they're stubborn.
I'll trade you.
Yeah. Okay, so Log Hauler Jesse, it is cold, and I was telling her it feels like it's midnight out here, but it's like 3 o'clock.
Yeah.
It's just a thick, overcast day, and this is just the way it is out here in the wintertime.
Yeah. I wish you'd just pick a side, whether it freeze or rain.
Mm-hmm. This is the tough time, though, because the ground isn't frozen.
Right.
And you can't get in. The loggers aren't into the woods, and
yeah, it's been real. This is probably one of the slower times, but right after Thanksgiving, everybody goes deer hunting. That slows it down, and then if it doesn't freeze, usually until it freezes, everybody's kind of just. And then the New Year coming up and Christmas, so this is always a slow time in between Thanksgiving and Christmas for me.
Okay. But it's not in the firewood business, because we are full speed ahead with our sales.
Oh, yeah, I seen you were working that machine like you owed somebody some money.
That machine is awesome.
I think the payment was coming up the way you're running that sucker.
Yeah, I was saying too, you know, with my previous machine, I was always nagging about the logs are too big. We need smaller logs. And then I'm saying, I need bigger logs. Bigger logs.
Yeah, that's how it works.
Yeah. All right, guys. So if you have, if you're interested with the deal with Log Hauler Jesse, send him an email. I'll put his email address in the description. And if you just got a general question about hauling logs and the timber industry, leave them in the comments down below, because you read the question. I see you replying to a lot of them too.
Yeah, I tried to.
All right, it's cold. I'm going to go inside and get under a blanket and get my hot cocoa. What are you going to do?
Daylight's burning. I got to go back to work.
All right, guys. I hope everyone has a great day.